Hello, my loves. Welcome to the bonus episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. Hi, TT.
Oh, hey.
So I was thinking of questions that I had for you guys for the bonus. And today's, I wanted to know basically, how do you as an adult or a parent react in an emergency type situation, whether it's evacuation, your kid got hurt. I wanted to know it all. And I actually got some really good responses, but also some really funny ones. And you'd be shocked at how many people just say, my parental intuition kicks in. And I'm like, okay, so I had a lot of those, but then other people who were like, I freak. I completely freak and
But
shut
it
down.
depends on the situation.
Totally.
If it happens to you, mom, babies, I'm good. Like I can be calm and go, okay, A to B to C, let's get us there.
Right.
If it happens to me, it's flustered, fetal position, and whatever happens.
But some people do short circuit
Oh, that's me.
in situations where you have to make a
split decision.
Yes. So this actually took me back to, I think Ocean was probably a year and some months. And we were at the apartment still. And there was so little room between like the dresser and the bed. And I was worried that she was going to fall off the bed. And because she was very close to the edge. And keep in mind, I was right there. So, and she's standing. So I tell her, Ocean, you have to, move farther onto the bed. Mom was literally sitting on the bed as well. And she looks at me and I think she's going to start walking from close to where she is at the edge of the bed to the middle of the bed. And instead, and I'm kind of like holding her hand slightly to help her. And she looks at me and gives me like this devious little grin and jumps to sit back. But she was close to the edge. So when she went to jump and fall on her bum,
You go backwards a little.
she was basically, falling to the ground. And I tried my best to catch her, but she hit the floor. And keep in mind, this is an apartment with it's basically concrete with linoleum. There's no cushion or anything like that. It's basically a tile floor that's meant to look like wood. They call it these days to make it sound more bougie. They call it pet-friendly flooring. So she falls and hits that floor right here. And she screams. And I'm panicking because this is the first fall off of the bed. And you hear, kids are going to fall off the bed. Please make sure to guard your stairs because that is a terrifying trap. And I thought I was doing so well to get her to a year and some change without having anything horrendous happen. So I'm freaking out and trying to console her as she screams. And all of a sudden, she stops crying. And I have her like this against me. And I lean her back. And you guys, she's dead weight. Her eyes are rolling into the back of her head. I'm screaming at my mom, call 911, call 911. My mother, what was maybe 30 seconds, felt like an eternity. My mom had a phone in her hand and she didn't know what to do with it. She completely froze. And I cannot believe that I handled the situation like I did. And that's why I kind of relate to people who were saying, your mama intuition kind of kicks in, because I took the phone from my mom. For some reason, I remembered the passcode, dialed 911. I was completely calm, told them the exact address. And as the dispatcher is trying to cut me off is what I felt. I said, you have to listen to me. There are multiple entries to my building. You must enter at this point. You must use this code to get in. I've never given that precise of direction to someone who was to my Postmates guy.
Like you blacked out and just everything that needed to be known, you knew and you just said.
Yes. And she was saying, they're coming by siren. You will hear them. And I was like, I'm at this point, I'm like, I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. And I'm looking at Ocean and she's kind of coming to. And I was asking Ocean questions at that point. How old are you? What's your name? And I just, she was very young, so she didn't have, her vocabulary wasn't the same as what I would ask now. I did end up having them take us by ambulance to make sure that nothing was happening that I couldn't actually see. And in that ride, she was singing Rocket Man. And the guy was like, I think she's totally fine, but I understand why you want to take her. That's how I responded in that moment. But I truly couldn't believe it.
No, but you've done that a lot of times. I even feel like when we were in, high school and things would happen, Dad was very good. But I remember like things happening even in St. George or Lake Powell.
Yeah.
And I was younger, but like when Dad would say something, I do remember you being his help, and not freezing. And I don't know. I don't feel like a freezer. I don't know if I've been in a lot of things, but I am Mom.
Yeah.
So I might be.
Oh, she was
but like
frozen,
that is one thing,
just
is like
staring at
you've
me.
done it many times before.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think I black out.
you do black out. It's just you go with just your intuition and everything else, and you just black out and do it.
Yeah. No, totally. Everything has gotten so expensive these days, and I know the last thing you want is more credit card debt. Enter the Chime Credit Builder Card. This is a secured credit card with no annual fees. You can build credit with money you set aside and avoid interest or expensive debt. And having better credit gives you an advantage when it comes to loan rates for personal loans, cars, and homes. You get a better interest rate with a better credit score. Plus, you can get access to MyPay and get up to $500 of your pay before payday with no mandatory fees. So, like I mentioned, the Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card has no annual fees, interest, or credit check to apply. You can use it everywhere Visa credit cards are accepted, and you can build credit using your own money. Turn your everyday purchases into steps toward your financial goals with Chime's secure credit card. Get started today at chime.com/lala. That's chime.com/lala. Chime. Feels like progress. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Spot Me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal and OTC advance fees may apply. Late payment may negatively impact your credit score. Results may vary. MyPay eligibility requirements apply. Credit limits range $20 to $500. Terms and conditions apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. This person said, I have to remind myself I am setting an example for them, for her kids. Sometimes that's hard though in the moment. When you're in an emergency situation and it's fight or flight, I personally, the last thing on my mind is I need to set an example. But again, it depends on what you're going through. I used to flip my shit as a knee-jerk reaction. Now I am just heavily medicated.
Touche.
I think a lot of moms will relate to that.
Yep, ditto, touche.
Or just adults without children. Just life gets a little bit.
I don't have any, and oh my God.
Well, you kind of do, just not by choice. You have no other choice as a parent. I think it's instinct. Our children feel what we feel. That's the other thing. It's kind of like when your kid falls down and they look at you to see how you're going to react.
And I will say, your reactions are always over the top.
Wait, really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like if something happens to Ocean, and right when you do that, your reaction makes her react.
Before Sosa, even?
Yeah. I'll point them out now.
Because sometimes
do you want me to point them out?
Yeah.
No, I really will. Because there's a lot of times where like something will happen and you'll overreact. But it's hard because you're the parent as well. So it's like you want to comfort, but you also don't want to do it. So it's like you black out in that moment. you overreact.
Well, I also need, my mind goes a million miles ahead of like how bad it could have been. So I need her to understand in that moment, we cannot do that again, because even just a slight fall, I immediately go to an intrusive thought of, oh my gosh, she could have snapped her neck this way, but paralyzed, died, but she didn't, but she could have. So now I have to tell her.
Every time I watch her, it's free man's game.
Oh, lovely.
She fell many a time in her play. Yes, she's great. She plays in her playroom, but like she'll be on her tramp doing something and I'll be like, no, she's going to fall. And boy, does she fall. And every time I'm like, I'm just not looking. She'll look immediately at me. And after I don't stare, peripheral, she'll slowly get up and move things to act like she didn't fall.
All I think about is if we re-injure those teeth, they're going to turn black.
They're falling out anyway. She's got a new set coming in.
Damage to the real root. Weirdly, I lose all emotion and just go into work mode. Very weird. And when I look back, heartless? ? I don't think that's heartless at all.
I'm going to say that you being heartless, I guess, is if that's what we're going to call it in those moments. That's you putting on your mask first.
Yeah.
You being heartless is getting a lot of people through it because some people don't need to hear. Some people just need to be told, like, you got to do it, my guy. Like, you don't need to be nice. You don't need to do anything. You just need to get everybody A to B. And if you got to be heartless to do it, it's because those people need that reaction.
I have so much running through my mind right now.
No, I really do like this because I'm thinking about a lot of the things. And the more I think about it, the more I don't freeze. But like, there's a lot of the times where I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I just start doing a lot of nothing but something. Make sense?
That sounds like not a lot of help.
I'm not.
Oh, great. So it's just
I freeze, but I don't freeze.
Okay.
Do you get it? Like, I'm just sporadic.
You know, I pray that we never have to find out what you're like. Give Them Lala is sponsored by Earth Breeze. Like most people, I've been trying really hard to cut back on how much plastic I use, but with a full house and 2 babies, I'm always throwing those huge laundry detergent bottles into my recycling. But did you know that like 500 million of those bottles end up in the landfills and oceans every single year? That's why I made the switch to Earth Breeze laundry sheets. They come in plastic-free packaging, so they're more eco-friendly than traditional detergent. I love that part. I want the planet to be a better place for my girls when they grow up and have kids of their own. So Earth Breeze is an easy way to get clean clothes without all that plastic waste. And now you can get 40% off with your subscription at earthbreeze.com/lala. That's earthbreeze.com/lala. This person said you don't. You fake it for the kids and panic internally. Mom of 3, including a 4-month-old. That's a lot. When you have an infant that can barely, they just learn to like hold their own head up. Could you imagine being in a situation where it is your job to rally everyone in your household in the emergency situation on top of
keeping composure?
It can't be done.
No,
it simply cannot be done.
Yeah, I'm telling you, moms, that's a hard job. It's the hardest job in the world to be a mom.
It's also very exhausting.
I can tell. I'm catching it. I get the secondhand exhaustion.
Sometimes when I look at myself, I go, you do look like one of those moms who's just like, fuck it.
And isn't it a great place to be?
You know, sometimes I'd like to remind myself that I wore a heel the other night and I was like a baby deer. I'm like, what are these things?
You gotta start practicing.
No, seriously.
Wearing them
I'm
around
like,
the house.
My knees are aching. Like literally.
Knees are buckling. You're using muscle.
Mortifying. I was like walking up the stairs, like praying that the door guy didn't look at me like this stupid homely bitch.
You can wear flats.
No, that's the whole point. I've got to get out of the sweatshirts and out of like,
nah.
I actually felt really cute in Ojai when I like pulled myself together enough with like an off the shoulder sweater, like a pair of jeans that are actually in style now. I think they had a rip in them, which I think is not in style anymore, but I can't keep up fully.
No, I wear what I have.
Think of being a child again. How if things were handled calmly, I wouldn't have anxiety today. Oh my God, I'm stressing now. Am I causing my children anxiety? I hope not. I try to be calm. We spoke about this on the last episode a few episodes back, how I've learned the parenting tools that Ocean needs.
That really dug into me.
What do you mean?
I was trying to think of like all of the back things that happened with mom and dad that like were stressful events that did they cause me stress?
Okay, I'm going to say something that's probably going to be a super unpopular opinion. And I may get dragged for it, but I'm okay with it.
Let her rip.
Every single person on the planet is going to require a different set of parenting skills, and parents do the best they can.
No, it's just nice to maybe understand where you're at.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm not saying like, oh, I am okay to feel this way because my mom and dad.
Right.
I'm saying it's fun to see that maybe things that happened have made me this way, and now I can start to understand that these situations give
trigger
me
you?
the anxiety.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I do like putting, anytime someone writes in that says, put the shoe on the other foot, what did you need? It's like when we spoke to Jenna and I said, Ocean requires this set of parenting skills. She needs to be spoken to calmly. Jenna immediately said, is that how you need to be spoken to? And I was like, oh my God, maybe that is true. Because what happens is when someone tries to get hyphy with me or someone, I see their anxiety level rise.
You match energy.
I do match energy. I hate that.
Yeah, you're an energy. Yeah, so that's how I've started to both of you and mom.
Oh no.
When we, it's very rare, but when stuff is starting to pile up and you start attacking me or I attack you, like I go, oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm so good at feeling overwhelmed and being like, and it's all your fault.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is like,
why? You left a chip on the counter. You should have wiped it off.
That was last night. Lisa.
I'm saying that because it did happen. This person said, call my mom. Relatable. I don't need to call. Your calling of the mom is probably dialing. I go, Mom! Mom!
Give Them Lala is brought to you by Insurify. Finding car insurance can be really stressful. I never know if I'm paying too much for coverage. And as a single mom of two, I want to make sure my family is protected as best as possible whenever we get in the car. And that's where Insurify comes in. Insurify is an insurance comparison site that has dozens of top insurers competing for your business, which can drive prices down. Insurify lets you compare real-time quotes from dozens of top insurers, including names you know and trust. And the entire process is handled completely online, so no annoying phone calls and no ridiculous fees ever. And with Insurify, you can get insurance coverage in as little as 10 minutes. That's so fast. Your data is always safe with Insurify. They'll never sell your information, so you can shop with confidence. With over a decade of experience and an excellent star rating from Trustpilot, it's no wonder why Insurify has thousands of happy customers all over the country. So get to Insurify.com to compare car insurance quotes in real time and start saving today. That's INSURIFY.com. Insurify.com. Average potential savings based on initial quotes received by 183,234 customers seeking insurance through Insurify. Actual savings may vary depending on state of residence, individual circumstances, coverage selections, and insurance provider. Savings results are not guaranteed.
United separated my then 3.5-year-old from me on a flight from O'Hare to Orlando.
How?
Yeah, because that's not a lap child anymore. I feel like that's not okay. And I think I would have lost it and been removed from the aircraft.
So they had to sit away from each other on the plane. My thing is, if I was on that plane, I would have been like next to her. I would have said, your child is not near you. I will sit where your child is. And I would assume whoever the child seat was in, or the guy was in the, like, you should have been like, yeah, let's just swap. Like, to me, that speaks people on volumes about the people on the plane.
No, you guys, I was flying back from Salt Lake to LA. My dad had just died. My mom and I wanted to sit together, AKA drink together. And this guy wouldn't fucking move.
Yeah.
So the
in the
other
middle seat.
No, wasn't a middle seat. And so this nice woman and her husband, they ended up separating. And so mom and I could sit together. And I was like, this guy, you fucking dick.
I won't forget. I was flying from Miami to South Carolina. I was coming back to LA.
Yeah.
But from Miami to South Carolina, there was two people in first class that wanted to sit by each other.
Yeah.
No one would move. And so they went to two people in just like Delta Comfort and gave them their two so they could sit next to each other. Cute,
aww.
Right? I was like, that is cute.
I have to say, I've done that before.
Yeah.
One of the only times, but I did.
Yeah.
We gave up first class because we wanted to sit together.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. I when somebody needs my seat and I'm like, I can give it, I feel so great. I'm walking on the plane like, people are looking at me like I'm a nice guy.
You are a nice guy.
I'm a nice guy.
I don't. Unfortunately, when it comes to my kids, I definitely can't seem to stay calm, even when I'm an ex-emergency officer.
I know why.
Why?
Because kids don't fucking listen.
Oh,
And really get under your skin.
that is. I want to do a bonus where there's like different parenting techniques. I want to have someone come on to talk about like each set of skills that are, put into a box that maybe your child requires.
Yeah, like 5 sets of skills, and like you try each one with your child to see which one
if they respond
works.
to that.
Yes.
Science says your voice, a mama's voice, can be child's calm. I'm 33 and it's still true for me.
How crazy that I know. I do too. And I never pictured it even. Like just the phone call of like to mom when I was going through it, like just her voice would reset me. But I never understood that.
That's your mama.
Yeah.
Not a mom, just an ADHD adult. I personally get very angry and yell at everyone. So relatable.
Same.
You and me both. And that's a set of, I want to say, I won't call them skills because sometimes I feel like it is.
Well, I want to know if they're
really
medicated.
Put someone
if they're medicated for their ADHD, because I am not medicated for my ADHD. I have been. I like not being on its personal decisions, but I like not being on like Adderall or Vyvanse. I don't like the way it makes me feel. So I really am just freelancing ADHD out here, and I get the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know why. There's just spurts of like, oh, you fucking need to yell at someone or something. And then like time goes by and then I forget that.
Wow.
It's fun in this brain. It's a circus.
I like people who yell.
It's great.
Like a Larry David kind of yell.
Yes, that's who I aspire to be.
Sadly, I rely on my husband. He was a firefighter / EMT, and I pray he's around if an emergency happens.
Number one, thank you to your husband for
what he does.
Yes, what he does. And I feel like that really would bring so much calmness.
I bet he's way hot.
Yeah. Just like you look at that, no matter what's going on, you look at a man who is just face to face with a fire and you're like, it can't, all right, it can't be that
First of all, thank you for what you do. She's looking at him. And when you get back, I really would love to fuck you.
I'll climb you like a tree. I'll climb you like the tree you put out.
Take a deep breath and hold back my reaction because I know the second I show fear, it's over. You got the whole household up in arms. Badly. When my grandpa fell and broke his wrist, my husband had to yell at me more than once to call 911. That's Lisa, where I was like, call 911. Call 911. Just sitting there.
I'm surprised she had her phone, though.
As a wife of a first responder, whenever my husband is in a fire or call, I pray first and focus on our son. Amen to that. And thank you for what your husband does.
Yes.
I go extremely calm. My son got a toy hook in his eye and inside. I was panicking, but I had to be calm. And I just picked him up and looked at my friend and said, I'll call.
Like an actual like fish hook or like just like a little play plastic?
Looked at my friend and said, I'll call you, and drove straight to the hospital. I've had situations where I've had to put Ocean in the car due to like a sickness, and it's the most terrifying thing to put a hurt or sick child into the back of the car where you have no eyes on them except for maybe like a little mirror. And then you think about them being strapped in there, and if you need to get them out quickly, it's just a montage of all the shit that could go wrong. And not only that,
like you just said, not being able to see him, and like he's got a hook in his eye and you don't want him to touch his own eye. So that's shout out to the mama.
I work at a hospital, so I see this stuff. But when it's my kid, nope, I lose it. I think that that's totally relatable.
Yeah.
Usually cry and then take them for a treat and play their favorite songs.
Taking that in our arsenal?
Yeah. They get like really upset about something. Would you like a cookie? And some Taylor Swift. Shake it off. That's a way to get them right out of their own feelings. My girls are 19 and 17, and I still act a fool. Yeah, perfect. Probably because at that age, they're now like stealing the car and shit.
Mom still acts a fool.
Mom does act a fool. We're going to end it with this mama who says 200 milligrams of Zoloft daily.
Send some.
Because I find that to be very, very funny. In any situation, depending on what it is, I think that it is something in you that you're either born with or you work really hard, because there is nothing you can do in an emergency situation.
You're either born with it or you've dealt with so much emergency, you're now equipped for it.
Yeah. Because even though your brain is like, I need to move my hand to dial this, but I can't remember the number to 911. I get it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So thank you guys for writing into the podcast page. The YouTube video is up as well today. You can follow us at Give Them Lala Pod. I love you guys, and I will catch you for a regular old episode on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Give Them Lala podcast. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Did I get all three? I'm getting really good at that.